discussion, I have with me Mustafa from fifth semester. Please come in. Muhammad Admul Haji Zala from fifth semester. Nakibullah Swani from second semester. Sefwatullah. Najiba Hakimi from second semester, International Relations. And we have another advanced student, Rahimullah, MPhil, English Literature, who has done his MA private in International Relations. So we have seen that when we discuss the issue of Afghanistan, all the time we discuss our differences with the Afghan student or the general public. We never have been able to connect with them in a way to ask them that what is their future in Afghanistan, how they see their future in their country, and what future they prefer for their country. So, in the context of their future, I guess this is the first event that is organized by SISS-IR and with the help of Dr. Rabi, of course, that we ask about their future, what they think of their country. So, all these students I see, they are the future of Afghanistan, the young generation, the current generation, and they have experienced all their lives a chaos in their country. And in that chaos, they were able to study here in Pakistan or in Peshawar, and they were passionate enough to realize that their country is going through a chaos, and we are the future, so we will study, and in the near future, we will make our country a better country. So, yeah, I'll directly start with Najiba Hakimi, and that how has been your experience in Pakistan, particularly in the University of Lahore and in the Department of Social Sciences, and why you choose international relations as your degree?
In the name of Allah, thank you for having me here in this kind of discussion. It was a very great day when
Please speak loudly.
It was a great day for me when I was informed that I have been succeeded in my favorite field in the University of Lahore, especially in Pakistan. As I already studied my primary school in Pakistan, so I was so enthusiastic that I'm pursuing my bachelor degree at the University of Lahore, especially in Pakistan, and that was a great honor for me. So as an Afghan girl, I was so enthusiastic, and many people are not interested in social sciences in my country, especially girls. So as a girl, I was interested in politics to be a leader in the future. Because of that, I selected this field to pursuing it from the first bachelor degree to my master field, my MPhil, PhD field. So because of that, I want to see the change in the future, and that should be me. So because of that, I chose this social sciences, international relations. And as an Afghan girl who born in a very conservative society, a society like Afghanistan, and I'm still struggling to pursue my education, to get a degree, and to have a good future. Thank you.
Thank you. question for all the panel.
Thank you, sir, so much for your kind question. So basically, it's about experience. So I had a delightful experience with my Pakistani brothers and sisters. I'm grateful to them for their warm welcome and hospitality. They embraced the Afghans with their warm arms. Thank you so much for that. So I have a great experience in the University of Lahore, especially at the Department of Social Sciences. I'm really grateful for the teachers for their kindness and openness with the Afghan people, with the Afghan youths. As my country is in a critical juncture of its modern history, it's very important to have educated youths to build the future of Afghanistan. We're thankful for the great government of Pakistan, friendly government of Pakistan, for giving us the opportunity to come and study in Pakistan. And I had a very delightful experience. Thank you so much.
For me, it's been great, and I'm feeling very grateful to be here in Pakistan, and especially, particularly at the University of Lahore. When I graduated from my school, I studied my school in Pakistan, and I did not want to be illegal in Pakistan anymore, so I returned to Afghanistan, and I started my 12th grade in Kabul. When I graduated, I was looking for a scholarship. I wanted to study abroad in any country. I gave exam in Turkish scholarship and Indian scholarship and Pakistan scholarship. For Turkish, my age was not fit for them. And at the same time, I qualified to the scholarship of India and scholarship to the Pakistan. But I rejected Indian scholarship and I chose the Pakistan because we have got the same religion, we have got the same culture, tradition, and the mostly the same language. And I was familiar with the people of the people of Pakistan because I lived for 20 years in Pakistan, and I experienced the Pakistani culture, traditions, and language. And I rejected the Indian scholarship, and I came here. When I came here, I joined the University of Lahore, and as I faced with the Pakistani teachers, my respectable teachers, I'm very thankful to all of them. Particularly Sir Zishan Ali, he motivated me a lot, and specifically our HOD, the Venerable HOD, she's very kind, supportive, and she always supported us, and she's always there, she's always been there for us. And I'm really grateful to all of them who supported me, who motivated me, and who selected me as a friend. Also my Punjabi friends, they are really brothers to me, and they did not ever fail me. And they didn't ever fail me like I'm Afghans. There are a lot of troubles between Afghanis and Pakistani, but they treated me as a Pakistani, as dear brothers, and I'm really grateful to all of them. Thank you.
Hello everyone and good morning. As you all know, the friends have shared their experiences in Pakistan. Same thing goes for me as well, right? So far, the experiences that I have been in Pakistan was tremendous. I met a lot of people from different culture, and at the University of Lahore, I feel the same. When I first came here, I didn't only meet the people from Pakistan only, but from the different countries, which gave me the essence of multi-diversity culture. And luckily, I would say, with the time, I have developed the taste of spicy food here, which feels great. And for the Department of Social Sciences, I would say they have my heart at the end. And let me tell you a bit short story. I met a friend also from Afghanistan, and Ali Muhammadi, they might know him. Whenever I'm asking him that whether that's about food, whether that's about culture, whether that's about studies or university or teachers or anyone, so his compliment is so attractive. Because when I ask him, like, Ali, how is the food? So he always say not bad in every situation. So I would say even if that is better, even if things goes better, so he would only mention that, yeah, things are not bad. So same goes for me as well, like seeing and experiencing the exposure here. So it's going not bad for me as well. Thank you.
السلام علیکم. جس طرح میرے دوستوں نے کہا اپنے ایکسپیرینس کے بارے میں پاکستان میں جس طرح رہے ہیں, آئی تھنک ادھر اس طرح اسٹوڈنٹس بھی ہوں گے جو مجھے جانتے ہیں. میں پشاور میں پیدا ہوا تھا اور پشاور میں پلا پڑا ہوں. تو میرا ایکسپیرینس پاکستان میں اس طرح ہے کہ یہ ہمارے لیے سیکنڈ کنٹری جیسی ہے, کیونکہ ہم اس طرح سوچیں جیسے ہم اپنی جگہ میں رہ رہے ہوں. ہمیں کوئی ڈفرینس فیل نہیں ہو رہا, مطلب جو وہاں کا کلچر ہے یہاں کا بھی سیم کلچر ہمیں نظر آ رہا ہے. تو ہمارے لیے ایکسپیرینس پاکستان کا بھی سیم رہ رہا ہے. تقریباً ہمارے لیے بہتر اس وجہ سے ہے کیونکہ جو ہمارے کلچرز ہو جو ہماری روایات ہے تقریباً سیم ہی ہے. اور جس طرح یونیورسٹی آف لاہور میں کہ تو ہمارا ایکسپیرینس جو رہا, جب ہم اسٹارٹ میں آئے تو ہمارے لیے لاہور ایک نیا شہر تھا. نہ کسی کو ادھر سے ہی جانتے تھے, نہ کسی سے, مطلب اس طرح اسٹوڈنٹس تھے جو زبان بھی نہیں سمجھتے تھے. مطلب مارکیٹ جا کے اگر ہم نے کوئی چیز لینے کی ہوتی, اس طرح ہمارے ساتھ اسٹوڈنٹس تھے جو اشاروں سے کہتے تھے ان کو کہ ہمیں یہ دے دو وہ دے دو. ابھی جو ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں تقریباً ہمارا جو 5th سیمسٹر جا رہا ہے, تو اسٹوڈنٹس نے اب اتنا جان گئے کہ مطلب اب بول بھی سکتے ہیں, مارکیٹ جا کے سب کچھ کر سکتے ہیں. اور ہمارے جو اپنے ڈپارٹمنٹ میں ہمارا جس طرح ٹائم گزرا ہے, ہم تقریباً جب آئم سائنسز آئے تھے, کوئی تقریباً 5 سے زیادہ اسٹوڈنٹس آئم سائنسز ہم آئے تھے. جب یونیورسٹی آف لاہور ہم آگے تقریباً 40 اسٹوڈنٹس اس ٹائم ہم آئے تھے. تو اس طرح جو انٹرنیشنل اسکالرشپس کے جو اسٹوڈنٹس ہوتے ہیں یہاں پہ جو آتے ہیں وہ آدھے میں چھوڑ جاتے ہیں. ان کے اس طرح ایکسپیرینس رہتا ہے کہ وہ یا تو لینگویج کے ساتھ ان کا وہ ہو جاتا ہے, اس کے ساتھ فٹ نہیں آتے, یا تو سسٹم کے ساتھ ان کی وہ نہیں آتی, تو اسکالرشپ بھی ضائع ہو جاتی ہے اس وجہ سے, اور وہ چلے جاتے ہیں. یہاں پہ آگے ہماری جو HOD تھی, ہمیں اس طرح ایک انوائرمنٹ دیا ہے جو ہمیں نہ چھوڑنے پہ بھی مجبور کیا ہے اور نہ جانے پہ بھی کیا ہے, کیونکہ ٹیچر بھی ہمارے ساتھ بہت کوآپریٹ کر رہے تھے اس ٹائم. تو ہمارے سے ابھی جتنے بھی اسٹوڈنٹس آئے تقریباً 40 تھے, جن میں سے ابھی بھی سارے رہ رہے, کیونکہ اس طرح اسٹوڈنٹس ہیں جو آتے ہیں اسکالرشپ ضائع کر کے واپس چلے جاتے ہیں. تو ہم بہت شکر گزار ہیں کہ ہمیں جس طرح انوائرمنٹ ہمارے HODs اور ہمارے ٹیچرس نے دیا ہے, ایک فرینڈلی انوائرمنٹ ہمارے لیے, تو اس کے لیے ہم بہت شکر گزار ہیں جو ہمارے ابھی سارے اسٹوڈنٹس ادھر بھیجے. شاید کسی کا ایک ہی نتیجہ ہے. بہت شکریہ.
Assalamu alaikum. First, let me to thanks Ms. Rabia, HOD of International Relations. There are many things that I had got experience in Pakistan, but some commendable comments I want to pass here. That I was born in Pakistan in Afghan refugee scheme in Balochistan, district of Loralai, and Afghan refugee scheme was of Katoi. And I got my matriculation from Baloch Colony. There was a school, and then I did my intermediate from government boys degree college, and after that I did my bachelor degree from in field of international relations from Balochistan University, and then I have done my master degree from International Islamic University in Islamabad. And I am serving Afghan refugees Afghan refugees people, and I remained for 5 years as Afghan student representative in Pakistan. The reason I chose this university, that was, when I got my master's degree, most of the people, and they were suggesting me to may go to University of Lahore. There's a lot of societies and a lot of intellectuals people there. I know that is a kind of good grooming to the people of Afghanistan, and they're gaining here right now. And the things in Pakistan experience for me, that was totally positive. There is no negativity in that, and I can speak more than 5 languages, especially Punjabi, Sirki, and Urdu, English, and Persian, Pashto languages. Along with that, living in Pakistan, I never thought that I am a foreign student. I am an Afghan refugee student, that equality and my rights I got from them, and Pakistan government, they support me totally as they are supporting their own students. So there was no anything, negative. So thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, so it is good to know that you are experiencing your better future in Pakistan, and you are integrating with the students of Pakistan in your daily life. So coming to Afghanistan now, so we all know the situation in Afghanistan right now. So my question to all the panelists is that in the changing geopolitical scenario, how do you see the future of Afghanistan? You can say in the long term or in the mid term or in the short term, how you see the future of Afghanistan.
As we all know the ongoing situation in Afghanistan, it is like we can anticipate it very easily. How? If the Taliban couldn't be able to manage that situation, I mean the new regime that is ruling the country nowadays, so it would be hard for them to be eligible in this era, because there is something in the short term, there is a rise of specific terrorist groups like Daesh. So in this way, if they do not prevent this, they cannot manage this, it will be so hard for them, because they will seize different provinces there, and they will raise their flags there to control that provinces. And it will, for the new regime, the ongoing situation due to economic, in Afghanistan is so, it is so hard for them. Like, if we see people are dying from starvation, shortage of food, famine, this is all the real problem. So if the international community do not recognize the new regime, people would be, for the people it would be so hard, not for the new regime. So let me be clear that if the internet, I would come in for my people only, because of the current situation, because on the going situation, because of the future situation in Afghanistan. The international community should, or because of my people, this is, I'm saying, I'm not here to defend Taliban or the new regime. They have to recognize the Taliban because of people to prevent the human crisis. Thank you.
So may I proceed?
Yeah, you can.
So the American withdrawal of Afghanistan in 2021 or 2020 nearly. So it was a great political change in the region, especially in the South Asia. It had brought lots of transformation in the politics, especially in the regional politics of South Asia. We have the engagement of Afghanistan with its neighbors, its neighbor countries. So as my opinion, the future of Afghanistan depends on the extent that the regional countries and the neighboring countries is engaging with Afghanistan, and they help and cooperate with Afghanistan to build peace and to promote a good economy, a peaceful life for its people. So I am seeing that after the withdrawal of Afghanistan, the American withdrawal from Afghanistan, there is a good opportunity and there is a great space for regional cooperation. We have, before the American presence in Afghanistan, which was somehow a barrier, now where the Afghanistan conflict is going to be solved somehow. So we have a great opportunity for the regional connectivity, regional integration. We want Afghanistan to integrate, and I think that Afghanistan's future depends on the engagement with the regional countries and its immediate neighbors. So I think the future of Afghanistan is going to be bright somehow if these regional countries embrace Afghanistan and Afghanistan integrate with them. So So the future is going to be bright. We have great economic projects like Casa 1000, TAPI. We have railways in, maybe in the future between Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, or the railways moving from Afghanistan to Pakistan or somewhere else. So this is going to be major economic projects that's going to benefit Afghanistan, and I am very optimistic about this, and thank you so much.
For the past 20 years, our country was caged by foreigners, and it was dependent completely by foreigner aids and funds and humanitarian funds, etc., whatever. But it was completely dependent on cooperation of foreigners. And suddenly they left the country, and they left bitter feelings for all of them, for all of us, for the country, for the Taliban, for the people. And they are facing a lot of problems. And they need a lot of cooperation right now, but nobody is looking at them. Now, is the Taliban got the government by force or by anything? In short term, if they are recognized, they will be facing a lot of problems. They are still facing humanitarian crisis and economical crisis. The people are ready to sell their babies in order to survive, in order to support their rest of the families, because they are facing a lot of problems, economical problems. And this is the biggest problem right now, and will be in the future. In the future, if they do not solve this problem, and I think they cannot solve, because the experts have fled the country. There is no expert body in the country right now. There are just Maoris and just school guys are left. All of the dead hand people left the country. All the expert people left the country, and they will be demanding others to join them in order to support them and work for the better economical issues. And next they will be facing people, because they have already lowered their national anthem, their national flag and anthem. This is a big issue in Afghanistan. The people will raise and will fight for the national flag and national anthem. And they have showed the people different ideas. They will be showing national flag again, or they will be lowering them. It is not known right now. But in midterm, they will be facing the people for the national flag. And in long term, I can see the future of Afghanistan very bright, because there were more than 50 countries involved in Afghanistan, and they all left Afghanistan. Afghanistan, now there is only one force and one party, Taliban, and there is nobody to support them, there is nobody to cooperate them. Only there is one chance for China to enter the country, and they are still trying to have a strong bond with the Taliban. Recently, the foreign ministers of the foreign minister of China and the foreign minister of Taliban met in China, I think, and they talked over the current issues and the upcoming issues and the upcoming cooperation. And the China demanded them to provide them an economic corridor in Afghanistan. And the geographical location is important for the regional countries. If they want to connect with the Central Asia, they need to participate. They need to cooperate Afghanistan, and they have to have a better and a strong relation with the Afghanistan. So I can see the future of Afghanistan very bright, because China have promised to reconstruct Afghanistan once again. So I hope so.
As we all know that Afghanistan is going through a tough time, and I will like there are many challenges that Afghanistan is facing, and let me put it in three categories: short term, mid-term, and long term. In the short term, as we all are witness that a huge humanitarian catastrophe going on, and at the same time the threats from the terrorism. These are the issues that Taliban should deal with a great plan. Else, I don't think they will take it they will stand for a long time there. And the mid-term problems like they have been facing is the issue of women there. If they are not gonna engage the women within their government, or they are not providing them a safe environment in order to engage them, in order to give them a free space to practice their rights. And for the long-term issues, one of the main issue is the water management issue. If the current government failed to govern these management, so I see a water crisis in future, which will put all the region in risk. So if Taliban are not going to tackle with all these issues, so unfortunately or fortunately, I would say I don't see a bright future for my people as well as for the region. If they can tackle all these issues, so I can say Afghanistan will become a powerful country in the region, and they can be a center to other regional countries, and all the regional countries can be benefited from the fruit of that. Thank you.
What was the question?
Okay, so the question is that in the ongoing geopolitical scenario, how do you see the future of Afghanistan?
जिस तरह लोग कह रहे हैं, मीडिया शो करवा रही है कि तालिबान ने टेक ओवर किया, जुल्म हो रहे हैं, ये तो एक मीडिया का प्रोपेगेंडा हो सकता है। जो हमने अपना एक्सपीरियंस देखा है, वहाँ से आए हैं, जो एक डिफरेंट स्टोरी है। मतलब मीडिया पे जो दिखाया जा रहा है तालिबान के बारे में, टेक ओवर किया, मतलब जो जुल्म चल रहे हैं, जिस तरह की दहशत चल रही है, बिल्कुल वैसा नहीं है। मतलब ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हम हमेशा मीडिया पे बिलीव करें। अब इस तरह यहाँ पे जितने भी अफगान स्टूडेंट्स बैठे, उन सबको पता है वो अफगानिस्तान से आए हैं। तो अफगानिस्तान की जो सिचुएशन है, मतलब हमें जो बेहतर लग रही है, अगर इसी तरह चलता रहा तो फ्यूचर में इंशाल्लाह बेहतरी आ सकती है। क्योंकि वो जिस तरह पहले आए थे और अब आए, उनमें एक डिफरेंस नज़र आ रहा है। क्योंकि अब तालिबान जानते हैं कि वर्ल्ड को हमने दिखाना है कि हम एक गवर्नमेंट है। मतलब अगर दुनिया को नहीं दिखाएंगे तो चल भी नहीं सकते आगे। मतलब पिछली बार जिस तरह आए थे, आधे में मतलब वापस गवर्नमेंट आ गई और तालिबान वापस चले गए थे। तो अब दुनिया को इन्होंने रिकग्नाइज करना है खुद को। तो और तालिबान जिस तरह अभी आए हैं, लोग मतलब जो अभी मेरे दोस्त ने कहा कि फीमेल्स को एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए उनको, मतलब डिफरेंट जिस तरह इकोनॉमिक्स उनके प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं, डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स अभी आ रहे हैं अफगानिस्तान के। तो अगर फीमेल्स की हम बात करें तो अब तालिबान वो कहते नए आए, तो उनको हर चीज़ को एडजस्ट करने में टाइम लगेगा। तो मेरे ख्याल से हमें उनको इन चीज़ों में टाइम देना चाहिए। और जिस तरह हमारे एक दोस्त ने कहा कि फ्लैग का इशू चल रहा है, हम छोटी छोटी इश्यूज पे नज़र डाल रहे हैं। हमने अपने जो हम 20 साल से चला रहे थे, हमें अमन चाहिए, मतलब ये जुल्म बंद होना चाहिए। जब वो चीज़ें ख़त्म हो रही, हम एक छोटी सी चीज़ को बड़ा इशू बना रहे हैं। फ्लैग एक छोटा इशू नहीं है, मुझे ये पता है। फ्लैग चेंज भी नहीं होना चाहिए क्योंकि दुनिया हमें इसी से रिकग्नाइज कर रही है। तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमें एक फ्लैग के ऊपर अभी फ़िलहाल जो सिचुएशन चली उसके ऊपर हमें मतलब इस तरह से सिचुएशन क्रिएट करना चाहिए जिसमें हमारी कंट्री ना अमन हो जाए। तो फ्लैग और ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हमें तालिबान फिलहाल जो सिचुएशन चल रही है तालिबान की, उसमें हमें उनका साथ देना चाहिए ताकि जो फ्यूचर है हमारा वो बेहतर हो सके।
First, let me introduce Taliban. Who are they? And Taliban. When Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan, once again the Taliban destabilized in Afghanistan, and future of Afghanistan, I think it is better to light a candle against the darkness. It is the time for the people of Afghanistan to re-stabilize Afghanistan once again. Post-colonizers, most of the colonizers, let me to say something about it. Most of the people, they think Afghanistan is the graveyard of empire. I'm totally against of these words. Afghanistan is not the graveyard of empires. More than thousands of innocent students were killed. Most of the 13 lakes Afghans were killed in 40-year war. I am totally against this word that Afghanistan is the graveyard of empire. The things for our intellectuals, our people of Afghanistan to restabilize their country, they should not leave Afghanistan and they should not move towards European countries. The Western culture, the people of West, they always demanding the people of Afghanistan to leave their country. Taliban is hand over the Kabul. So that is, we doesn't have any issue with Taliban. If the Taliban are doing something positive, if they are letting girls to go to school, if they are leaving the boys going to school, and Taliban, if you look the Taliban, before 20 years, they were stable in Afghanistan. They had a settled government over there. So on that time, they were not letting the girls to go to school. Now the Taliban, they also know the politics and they know everything. So we should help them to restable our country, and this is our responsibility to control to restable our country. And this is not the responsibility of foreigners. More, as my brother says, China will invest in Afghanistan and he will restable Afghanistan. If China can do, so America will also. He was able to restabilize the country. So I'm totally against of this word. There was a great leader in Pakistan. His name was Akbar Khan Bukti. वो हमेशा यही कहते थे कि अगर जीना है तो अपने बाजू से जीना है. अगर जब मरोगे तो कोई और आपको उठाएगा. लेकिन जब हमें ये चाहिए कि अफगानिस्तान को we should control our country, we should stabilize our country. So this is our responsibility. And inshallah, in future, we we hope for democratic Afghanistan, inshallah.
So it is good to know that you all have a diverse set of opinions, and in your opinions, you all are optimistic about the future of Afghanistan, so it is good. So as Mustafa mentioned, women's rights. So in our panel, there is only one female student. So my question is to Najiba Hakimi, that how do you look at the future of women in Afghanistan in the context of women representation in politics, their access to education, and their day-to-day life in the context of the current treaty?
Let me be clear that when the new regime took over Afghanistan, they marginalized women from a different section of the government. Like they don't have access to education. They are banned for going to school. Girls cannot go to school. They cannot go to university. There are some exceptional that they can go to university. There are private universities, but there are some frameworks that they have to obey them. And some women are worried about their security. It is very important that women are worried about their security and as well about their future. The uncertainty behind the future of women in Afghanistan is something very about. Like we can say, most of the women flee the country, those who are professional. So the women that they were women in Afghanistan, now they are all women, those who are jobless, housewives, and others like teachers. And as well, we are hopefully, I heard recently that Taliban or the new regime allowed girls in Herat province from 1 to 12th grade to go to school, and this is hope. It is hopeful. And something it was that Taliban promised that we won't prevent women from having jobs, from being educated. But when they took over Afghanistan on 15th of August, they told to women to stay at home because of their own security concerns. According to them, I don't know what security concerns can be to them. but it was according to the new regime or the Taliban, we can say. So the other thing, the future of women in Afghanistan, it is all answered. They have an uncertain future. So I would recommend the Taliban, if they want a peaceful country or they want a peaceful Afghanistan, they should not impose their restriction only for girls to wear hijab with Islamic frameworks, with Islamic Sharia. This is something we all free as a human. We have our right to wear whatever clothes we want. So that is all the future of Afghanistan depends upon the Taliban with what they are doing, how they will act upon that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so as you all mentioned, the challenge of recognition. So my next question is to Ajmal, Nakib, and Sirva. That coming, like you mentioned, the challenges of recognition. So how do you, what do you think that how the world is looking at Afghanistan? And do you think that the global powers or other states will recognize the new regime in the context of ongoing humanitarian crisis and economic crisis?
This question goes to me.
Yes, it was.
Hello. So the world is looking at Afghans to embrace each other, to live with the realities of the world, the current realities of the world, which is human rights, good governance, and democracy somehow. People should have their voice in the government and politics. So I am thinking that the whole world is looking to the Afghans to embrace each other, whether which political stakeholder is in the government or has control over the country, but they need to embrace each other because Afghanistan cannot tolerate any more instability, social conflict. We have been fighting for decades, and that's not going to be useful. And now I think the Afghans must reach the conclusion that there is no solution for the war is not a solution for conflict and social instability in Afghanistan. They need to embrace each other. So basically, there are somehow two big major challenges that facing the recognition of the Taliban government in Afghanistan. The first is the issue of human rights, that the world is, especially the Western countries, they are emphasizing on the respect for human rights that the Taliban regime should show to their people and their society members. So the second one is inclusive government. The world is emphasizing, the whole region is emphasizing on the Afghan Taliban government that right now they are in charge. They want inclusiveness because Afghanistan is a multicultural country and a multi-ethnic country. It has a lot of ethnicities, and they need to be respected, and they need to give a part in the politics of the country. So if the Taliban, as a responsible stakeholder, would do their responsible duties of embracing each other or giving rights to the other political stakeholders, I think the government will be soon recognized by the regional countries and the world, because Afghanistan is now facing somehow a humanitarian crisis, and it is itself an incentive for the world to as soon as recognize the government and engage with them, because in order to prevent the unfolding humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, we have lots of problems in Afghanistan. People are facing lots of difficulties. So the world have much incentive to recognize the Taliban government. Thank you.
For the rest of the world, what is an excuse for the recognition of Taliban? They are demanding Taliban to protect women, to provide them full and complete rights for women. Whatever happens to guys, they do not care. The world do not care about them. There are scholars and PhD scholars, they are selling fruits on the streets. They are not worried about, they are not concerned about the men. But the whole world is exclusively worried about women's rights. I'm not criticizing that why the world is defending women. I defend women. I can fight for the rights, but the whole world can look at the whole situations. That what are the main problem? The main problem is not belong to only women. They can also fight for our rights as well. So the world is demanding that they should provide women rights. They should protect women, and they should protect the foreigners that have worked with the NATO or that have worked with the American soldiers. They are also demanding Taliban to protect those who are living in Afghanistan as foreigners. And they have also demanded Taliban to cut off relations with the terrorist groups as well. These are the excuses for the world that they are not recognizing Taliban as a legitimate government. And if the Taliban fulfill all these promises, there will be no excuse to the world to recognize Taliban. And also the whole globe, they need to recognize Taliban. Not only Taliban needs to be recognized, they are not wishing to be recognized, but similarly, the neighboring countries and the European countries, they also want to recognize Taliban, but they have just only that issue. They have just put some conditions to Taliban to fulfill all these promises, so we will be recognizing you. So if the Taliban fulfill all these promises, there will be no excuse to the world. They will soon recognize Taliban. And if we look into the current situation of Afghanistan, there is TTP that is working against the Pakistan government. If the Pakistan government do not want to engage with the government of Taliban, if Pakistan does not want to recognize Taliban, how can they solve their problems with the TTP? If they are not supporting Taliban, Taliban will not be ready to talk to TTP, or Taliban will not be ready to talk to Pakistan government, or will not be ready to engage in any issue in future. There is, in Turkmenistan, I think there is one group by the Turkmen terrorist groups. They have also came to the border of Afghanistan, and they are closely working with the terrorist groups in Afghanistan, and they are engaging. It's also a threat for Turkmenistan. Next, Iran also wants to have a strong bond with the current government. Recently, Russia, in October, they held a meeting in Moscow. They are working for the recognition of Taliban. Then after that, Iran held a meeting in Tehran. Then after that, Tajikistan held a meeting for the recognition of Taliban. The whole neighboring countries and the whole world is trying to recognize Taliban because they need it. And the main thing that they need is their geographical location, because it has got a central location, and it bonds some countries with the Central Asia and some countries with the rest of the countries. So the world needs to recognize Taliban. If they do not recognize Taliban, there will be a lot of problems, including terrorist problems, humanitarian crisis, and already we have got economical crisis. So the ISIS for the Taliban is a big problem. If the Taliban recognize, they will be able to solve the problem with ISIS, the Daesh we call it. This is a big threat for Taliban. So the world needs to recognize Taliban in order to have peace and stability in the region and the country.
Can I have the question?
The question. So, like coming to the challenge of recognition, how you see that when the global powers or other states recognize Taliban?
Okay, first of all, let me take it from other dimension, that I didn't get this thing that when the world consent with the Taliban on the negotiation table, so why they feel hesitated to recognize them. Although I might be a top critic of Taliban, but the thing is that due to not recognizing the Taliban, the people are suffering, like the humanitarian crisis are going on. There are many challenges like terrorism and all, but I'm still confused in this, that why when world consent with the Taliban on one table, then what stops them to recognize from the recognition? So there are plenty of challenges that they can sit and solve it together. In future, the global power like Afghanistan, we all know, has a great geographical location. If they can, and at the same time, like the Taliban are using a few factors for their recognition, like for example, they are like they are using the women rights, like not giving them the proper rights so that's why they use these factors in order to get recognition, and these are the responsibility of the Taliban now. Somehow, before that, we all were agree on this, that Taliban are the part of the reality, but now they become the reality of Afghanistan. So world should work together in order to recognize them, so we can take the people of Afghanistan out of this current situation.
So my next question is to Rahimullah and Mustafa. I'll ask it in Urdu. जो आपने अभी तक स्टडी की है तालिबान के बारे में, और या आपने बड़ों से सुना है तालिबान के बारे में, जो 90 की दिहाई में थे, 1990s में, आप किस तरह कंपेयर करते हैं उनको जो अभी 2021 के तालिबान हैं उनके साथ, और क्या आप समझते हैं कि किस तरह वो अफ़गानिस्तान को एक बेटर फ्यूचर देंगे, उनके गवर्नेंस का मॉडल किस तरह होगा, वो किस तरह रूल करेंगे?
तालिबान जब पहले 20 साल पहले आए थे और इन तालिबानों में क्या फ़र्क है? फ़र्क ये है कि जब पहले आए थे तो एक जुल्म के उस पर आए थे, मतलब ये नहीं देख रहे थे कि ये चल क्या रहे, जो भी सामने नज़र आ रहे थे उनको मार रहे थे कि ये गवर्नमेंट में काम कर रहे थे या जिसमें भी काम कर रहे थे।